It looked like any other Christmas Eve in Covina, until the man in the Santa suit stepped onto the porch and opened fire on his own family. This is the story of Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, the ex-husband who turned Christmas into a massacre. Welcome to the Waddy Files. If you're into true crime cases, make sure to like, subscribe, and explore the channel for more. Now, let's get into the case. 2 weeks before Christmas, 5-year-old Bruce Pardo seemed like the picture of normalcy. A quiet software engineer, upbeat, polite, known for keeping to himself. But beneath the surface, Pardo was falling apart. His marriage to 3-year-old Sylvia Ortega Pardo had collapsed in a brutal divorce finalized just 7 days before Christmas Eve. He lost the home, was ordered to pay spousal support, and blamed Sylvia and her entire family for his ruined life. Friends would later say he smiled through clenched teeth. They missed the warning signs. But Pardo didn't just want revenge. He wanted annihilation. December 24th, 2008. A warm, bright night in Covina, California. The Ortega home was packed 25 relatives, gathering for dinner, laughter, and gifts. 3 generations, 9 who would not survive. Inside were Alicia and Joseph Ortega, the beloved grandparents, their adult children, Charles, James, Cherry, Teresa, and Alicia, and Sylvia, Bruce's ex-wife, celebrating her first Christmas after the divorce. The house was glowing with Christmas lights, music, and noise. It was the safest place these families knew, until the doorbell rang. At exactly 11:30 p.m., a little girl, Bruce's 8-year-old niece, ran to the front door, excited to see who had arrived so late. She opened it. A man dressed head to toe as Santa stood on the porch, holding a giant present in his hands. She smiled, and he shot her in the face. The party erupted into screams. Bruce stepped inside, shutting the door behind him. He didn't say a word. He fired a barrage of bullets, a controlled, deliberate massacre. He had come prepared with 4 9mm Sig Sauer semi-automatic handguns and extra magazines strapped to his costume. People tried to run. Some hid behind furniture. Others shielded children with their own bodies. But Pardo fired at anything that moved. Within minutes, the Christmas celebration had become a war zone. When the shooting stopped, survivors thought it was over. But Pardo had brought one more gift. The giant wrapped present wasn't a present at all. Inside was a custom-built air compressor rig, modified to spray high-octane racing fuel like a flamethrower. He tore the wrapping paper off and began coating the home in gasoline. Decorations, walls, carpets, the Christmas tree drenched. Police later said the device could saturate a room in seconds. And then came the spark. There was a candle burning inside the living room. The fuel touched the flame. The house erupted. A fireball exploded through the front windows, lighting up the street. When firefighters arrived, the heat was so intense it melted metal, and bodies were burned beyond recognition. In the chaos, one woman, bleeding from gunshot wounds, escaped out a side door, crawled to a neighbor's house, and whispered the words, "It was Bruce Pardo." That one sentence broke the case open within minutes. This was no spontaneous breakdown. Pardo had engineered a full escape route. Police discovered a rental car parked a block away filled with maps of Mexico and the American Southwest water, food, clothing. A possible hit list. Another car near his ex-wife's divorce attorney's home, implying the lawyer may have been next. He had even booked a Christmas morning plane ticket to Illinois and strapped thousands of dollars in cash to his body. It was a plot built for survival. But Pardo made one fatal mistake. When the house exploded, the flames didn't just consume the Ortega family. They burned Pardo too. The Santa suit fused to his skin. He suffered 3rd-degree burns across his arms and legs. He couldn't run. He couldn't hide. He couldn't travel. His entire escape plan was destroyed in seconds. Bleeding, burned, and panicking, Pardo drove 30 miles to Silmar, to the home of his brother. He let himself inside, and sometime around 3 a.m., Bruce Jeffrey Pardo put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger. When detectives arrived, they found his rental car outside Booby, trapped with 200 rounds of ammunition, the remnants of his Santa suit wired to ignite if moved. At his home in Montrose, empty gun boxes, shotguns, high-octane fuel containers, and what investigators described as a bomb-making factory. Toxicology revealed cocaine in his system. They would never know if the drugs fueled the rage, or were a final push before the massacre. The victims included Silvia Ortega Pardo, 43, Alicia Sotomayor Ortega, 70, Joseph Ortega, 79, Charles Ortega, 50, Cherilyn Ortega, 45, James Ortega, 52, Teresa Ortega, 52, Alicia Ortega, Ortiz, 46, Michael Andre Ortiz, 17, 9 lives erased, 3 more forever scarred, a family line nearly wiped out, all on a night meant for peace. People asked the same question for years. Why? Why destroy an entire family over a divorce? Why plan an attack this elaborate? And why choose Christmas Eve? No one ever found a clear answer. All we know is this. Bruce Pardo put on a Santa suit knowing he was about to bring hell to the people who once called him family. He didn't come to celebrate. He came to burn everything down. On that quiet street in Covina, the lights of Christmas still flicker each year, but the shadow of the man in the red suit never left. Thank you for watching. If this case kept you interested, make sure to subscribe and check out the other cases on the channel. There are more stories waiting.